the drought concerns and ensure Kenya has enough harvested water to facilitate a water management strategy for irrigation and food production. Fourth, the government has invested very heavily in biotechnology research and uptake of drought-tolerant crops to promote food security, particularly in marginalized areas. In the current year, over 250 metric tons of assorted drought-tolerant seeds valued at Kenya shillings 50 million have been distributed in Embu, Meru, Makueni, Machakos, Tharaka Nithi, Murang'a, Nyeri, Siaya, and Busia counties. Fifth, the government has reformed the National Health Insurance Fund to meet the urgent needs of Kenyans at the bottom of the socio-economic structure by actualizing its purpose as a social medical insurance facility. In addition, the government has committed to deliver universal health coverage to ensure that every Kenyan attains dignified health care at a minimum subscription fee. And finally, the government has reviewed the policy on the energy sector with the aim of developing and diversifying this market further by improving the sourcing and supply of cooking gas that inevitably has resulted in high cost that drive domestic inflation. This has allowed for additional players to be licensed and to set up liquefied petroleum gas facilities. A common use of bulk storage and even handling facility for LPG will be constructed through a private sector participation framework to enhance market certainty and stability in the use of LPG. This will cut costs of handling and evacuating gas from ships to the mainland, and hence allowing dealers to pass through the cost of relief to consumers. Mr. Speaker, in order to improve service delivery and support livelihoods and businesses, as well as strengthen governance institutions, the Kenyan Kwanza government has, since assumption of office, established Financial Inclusion Fund. This is commonly known as the Hustlers Fund, that was set up in November 2022 to provide access to affordable credit to individuals and MSMEs, medium and small enterprises, and to encourage savings. This is an intervention that will remain at the bottom of the pyramid in order to access borrowing under the fund. A customer only needs to register through his or her mobile phone. Since the launch of the first product, the Hustler Fund Personal Loan Fund, the government has invested a total of 11 billion shillings. This money has been revolving within the fund, providing low interest rate at 8% per annum, and so far 16.07 million Kenyans, of which 7.1 million are repeat customers, have actually accessed the fund. So far, 30.8 billion has been borrowed from this revolving fund. In addition to borrowing, the fund is designed to encourage savings. To date, 1.5 billion has been saved as a mandatory savings, while Kenya shilling 17 million has been saved on a voluntary basis. We have witnessed a phenomenal growth in the number of transactions that currently stand at 43.5 million transactions. The largest number of the times a single customer borrower has borrowed from the fund is about 50 times, indicating strong traction of the Hustlers Fund. To further empower the medium and small enterprises, the government on 1st June 2023 launched the second product of the Financial Inclusion Fund that is aimed at facilitating Kenyan access funding through groups. This follows the phenomenal success of the personal loans products under this initiative, and this will allow lending groups such as chamas and SACCOs and SACCOs. The groups can now borrow loans from between 20,000 shillings to 1 million shillings. Third, we have redesigned the competence-based education curriculum to make it responsive to our education needs. And fourth, have employed over 30,000 teachers in a historic and unprecedented drive to improve the national teacher-pupil ratio and enhance performance. Fifth, government has introduced new funding model for higher education that will make the universities and technical training fully inclusive, financially self-sufficient, and also capable of competing with their peers globally while contributing to our national socio-economic transformation. Sixth, the government has established the National Open University in order to make higher education inexpensive, affordable, accessible, inclusive, and attainable to all. The university will create its charter before the end of this month, that is June 2023. Seventh, the government has launched several affordable housing projects across the country, translating to about 36,000 housing units in just 8 months. Eighth, government has proposed and moved with digitalization, and the digitalized and automated services to the tune of 3,570 of government services through the eCitizen platform that has enhanced access to government services and brought greater convenience to citizens. The government targets to bring on board close to 5,000 services on the eCitizen platform by the end of 2023. Number 9 is the government has launched a data protection registration system to provide digital identity to all Kenyans in order to facilitate the transactions between the government and its citizens. Finally, returned the port operation from Mombasa and Naivasha to Mombasa, returned the port operations from Nairobi and Naivasha to Mombasa in order to revamp the coastal economy and give importers, especially the business community, a choice on cargo clearance. The government has introduced a G2G, a government-to-government arrangement for oil importation to provide a longer-term supply of fuel and ease the monthly demand of US dollars in a situation where global dollar shortage was ensuing. Government has also appointed 4 court of appeal judges and 2 judges of the Environment and Land Courts in line with the recommendations of the Judicial Service Commission to strengthen the judiciary. Further, the government escalated the actualization of the judiciary fund that will increase the allocation of resources towards enhancing the access to justice. And finally, the government has enhanced the independence of the National Police Service by granting them financial autonomy as envisaged in our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, while we celebrate these achievements, we are aware that a lot remains to be done in order to decisively deal with the pressing socioeconomic challenges. First, to reverse the effect of the recent past negative shocks that have been persistent. And second, to improve and accelerate the betterment of the livelihoods of Kenyans. It is for this reason that the government is implementing the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, popularly referred to as BETTER, which is geared towards economic turnaround and inclusive growth. It is aligned to this agenda. It is in alignment to this agenda for this year's budget theme carries that spirit. This year's budget, the theme is bottom-up economic transformation and climate change mitigation and adaptation for improved livelihoods of Kenyans. Consistent with this, the government will scale up implementation of policy priorities and structural reforms under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, as detailed in the 2023 budget policy statement and the 4th medium-term plan, MTP4, which is currently under development, and that it will guide the attainment of these development objectives, as well as a continuation of the Kenyan Vision 2030 and Sustainable Development Goals. The strategy will involve increasing investments in 5 strategic sectors that have the largest impact and linkages to the economy, as well as on household welfare as the starting point. These 5 sectors include agricultural transformation, micro and small medium enterprise economy, housing and settlement, healthcare and digital superhighway, as well as the creative industry. Special focus will be placed